Alright, and we are finally into Champion Select here. Let's see how these bans play out, whether or not we see any of the targeted bans that have been so common for the first picks. Cassiopeia definitely feels targeted to me. We do have a Diamond 5 player with 65% win rate on Cassio. Followed up by a Hecarim and an Urgot immediately after that. No signs of targets for those, so it may be simply those picks that a team does not want to play against.
Urgot is a pretty annoying champion, so he can just E and Q multiple times.
Right, oh, there's a Sion ban coming in as well, so 2 top lane bans here. Maybe that purple team's strategy happens to rely around their top lane player, and they want to make things as easy as possible for them.
Do you know what their Diamond 5 player mains?
Let's see. The Diamond 5 player was StickStalliion, and he mained Cassiopeia. It looks like his secondary is an Urgot mid, and then a Kog'Maw after that. Whether that's Kog'Maw ADC or Kog'Maw mid, I'm uncertain of, but considering the other 4 champions are all mid lane picks, I'd say it's most likely a mid Cog that he favors. LP Ekko jumping straight in onto the Vi. Plenty of hard engage that we saw used to great effect last match.
She's definitely a great carry, since she can be tanky and still do tons of damage.
Absolutely. Denting blows granting armor shred in addition to bonus attack speed and a chunk of maximum health damage. Makes great for shredding through any kind of tanks as well as objectives such as Baron or Dragon. And Thresh locked in. Support pick right off the bat. Possibly denying that from the enemy team. Thresh is always a bit of a pain to play against. And Orthorion seems to have a favoring for him. Again, 36 games played versus his next highest champion, Morgana, at 13. And Amumu, most likely in the jungle.
Definitely. Perhaps we'll see a lane switch. Well, not a lane switch, a champion switch.
Yep. Orthorion jumping right in on that Morgana. Like I mentioned, it is second most played champ for support. And I A CHarmander hovering on the Graves there. If Morgana happens to land a binding, that means Graves can dash right in and get the full damage from Buck's shot. So that would make for a rather devastating combo. Yep. Additionally, Morgana's Black Shield can help deal with Amumu's Bandage Toss and Curse of the Sad Mummy, preventing a lot of lockdown from going on to Graves.
It also does great against Thresh, who, you can see their hook. Like, it takes him about a second before the animation goes through. And so that'll definitely help out in lane.
Yep. And Volibear locked in there. Yet another target for Morgana to try and Black Shield against. It's going to be a lot of prioritization here. Morgana's going to have to be ready to determine what's the biggest threat and who needs to be protected from it. And Lucian for the bot lane, possibly? The anti-RP lane in that case. Thresh having stolen the soul of Lucian's wife. You know the whole tale.
Yeah.
But they still have an opportunity to switch it to something else. And Lucian locked in there for certain. Blue team's last remaining 2 picks, they have yet to show either their mid lane or their top lane, so their team comp can certainly vary a lot from this point. Maokai possibly for the top line. And Orianna, it looks like they are looking to get big team fights. Definitely. If Maokai can Twisted Advance in with the Orianna ball, The shockwave would be absolutely devastating, especially when coupled with Graves' collateral damage. Getting to land that on all 5 team members would make for a very uphill fight for the purple team.
And you can't leave out Morgana's ult, who just stun him right after, if followed up correctly.
Absolutely. And if Vi happens to unleash a few, I often forget what her E is called, but a few of her empowered auto attacks to smash through the enemy team. And there's a Kog'Maw. Mid lane Kog'Maw most likely for StickStalliion there. And 2 champion switches. Amumu going to Meteos on with his jungle Amumu, and DarkRitual taking Thresh.
The Cog.
Yep. So, barring the Amumu, who's certainly a more teamfight-oriented champion, I'd say it looks almost like purple team's looking to make a lot of picks. Long-range siege from Kog'Maw. Volibear runs in, bandage and uses his Rolling Thunder to toss someone backwards, pick him off, and then have a lopsided team fight. It's going to be in kind of contention with blue team's heavy engaged team between Maokai, Vi, Morgana, and Orianna. They're looking to just catch one person and start the fight from there, whereas purple team is looking to make their catch, maybe make one more catch, and just slowly start whittling the team down.
And I believe the blue team has a more CC oriented side, and I believe personally the way to win games is with heavy CC, especially when it's AoE oriented.
Now, I am a big proponent of that. Nautilus happens to be one of my favorite champions simply due to the fact that he has so much CC scattered throughout his kit. But
Yep.
With how far away it looks like purple team's going to be playing there with Kog'Maw, I wonder if that's going to be an AP Kog'Maw we're dealing with. You rush Illuden's Ekko on that, and his ultimate deals so much AoE damage.
Indeed. I see he's running Flash and Ghost. Never seen this.
It's not unsurprising for a Kog'Maw since he has so little base mobility and no escape abilities. He's going to want to be able to get away from any possible ganks from Vi. Of course, he's going to have to save his flash for potential vault breakers or just have to juke it outright.
Indeed.
I definitely say mid lane is the lane to gank for the blue team, though. Volibear can easily run away, or misposition an opposing ganker to get them under the turret. Whereas bot lane, you have Thresh with his box for disengage, as well as Flay and Death Sentence to help impede the enemy. And if Lucian happens to be in a bad spot, he can simply lantern him out.
That is very true. But if Morgana does land the snare, Graves' burst, Lucian won't even have a chance.
Absolutely. This is going to kind of be a game of offense versus defense, it looks like. Just looking at the champions, that is.
Both teams do have a lot of peel potential. Indeed.
Just another 30 seconds here and we will begin loading into the rift. I'm not sure if there's a... Yep, there is in fact a straw poll up in the chat, guys, so if you're watching full screen, just quickly shrink it down, jump into that poll, and vote for which team you believe is going to win. I will make a point of trying to offer up the results later on in the stream. Personally, my vote here is on Sneaky Dunks. I love those teamfight-oriented teams, and I want to see them absolutely demolish them in a single second.
That is where my vote is going for, because I am a little biased here, because most of my friends are on that team. My friends that I barely met when I joined League People. Like Krypent, he's He's one of them. I personally think he's a very good player.
You know what? Nothing wrong with a little bit of bias here. We're shoutcasters, not judges.
Right. And in the end, that's not gonna affect the game in any way. So.
And the two disappointing top laners here, Maokai and Volibear, both the only ones on their team without skins.
Well, I guess both teams are Team Foreskin.
Yeah, report ban Maokai and Volibear. Just leave them on the island. Top lane tends to be like that anyways.
Yep, just too
We're probably looking
secluded.
forward to more of the whole wet noodle fights we're seeing here. Maokai with his innate sustain, and Volibear with his passive to make things slightly less threatening.
Yep. Might not see much top lane. I personally like top lane because I main it well. As Riven, as my name is, and I like that, like all-in type thing. You engage.
All-in champions certainly are fun to play.
Yes, indeed.
But they, of course, come with their risks there.
Yeah.
You're all in and don't get that kill that you need, you are going to be up the river without a paddle. Especially in top lane.
Yep. Yeah, especially when the enemy jungler is right there, just coming. What a sticky situation you could put yourself in.
StickStalliion will be looking to keep himself out of those particular situations with his Flash Ghost in the mid lane there.
Yep.
Thankfully, he's got his Sticky Void Ooze to help with that particular issue.
Is it possible to ghost while Kog'Maw passive?
Unfortunately, no. All your abilities are disabled while you are in Kog'Maw's passive. However, he does get a small inherent movement speed bonus when he is in that state, helping to chase down and possibly pick up that last kill.
Let's see.
Alright then, pulling up the runes and masteries, that does appear to be an AP Kog'Maw that we have in the mid lane there. Outside of that, nothing seems too abnormal. Just waiting for Amumu's precious little hamster to finish it, loading up the rift there.
What are your thoughts on that new champion, Ekko?
Ekko?
Yeah.
When I was first looking at him, I was kind of surprised. I didn't see a lot of opportunity for damage, especially if he was going to be an AD kind of mage character, like I was initially expecting. However, seeing him put in as an AP character with some fairly hefty ratios, including that AP scaling on his passive,
he's going to 3 hits.
He's going to be a dangerous melee AP assassin, I think. Especially with that 1.3, not even a flat 1.3 AP ratio on his ultimate.
Wow.
However, he's still on PBE. These numbers are all subject to change.
His ultimate seems quite interesting. Like, you just turn... what was it?
You get a brief
untargetable?
Moment, you get a brief moment of invulnerability and untargetability, similar to when you activate Shaco's ultimate. There's that brief window where you don't exist on the map before you and your clone reappear. You snap back to where you were 4 seconds ago, and since it's an absolute positioning, you can return back to base, and if you buy and trigger your ultimate within those 4 seconds, you basically get a free teleport back to your lane.
Oh, nice.
Very nice indeed. However, whether or not people are able to make proper use of his Q, which has a relatively low missile speed on its outgoing shot, and his W, which has a fairly long delay, it's going to require a lot of pre-planning to make accurate use of it.
Yes, I can see that. I quite like his...
Loaded onto... Bear with me a moment here. We appear to have loaded onto the Rift. However, I am currently showing a bugged version with a 50-minute and 40-second timer. Do you see the game accurately there?
I see it as 15 seconds. 16, 17.
Oh, there we go. I am properly loaded in now. It just took a moment for the spectator client to catch up.
Mm.
See if we're looking at anything as far as level 1 plays here go.
For validity's sake, I'm just popping in just to, if you had that bug, just make sure you're at live on the timer. You can hit J or obviously drag it to make it go live. And we're seeing the pause anyways, so see if you can try to make it go live from here.
Yep, I am already set up there to go to live.
Okay, just making sure. I'll be muting again.
Not a problem. And it looks like we have a pause for the sake of Amumu here, who is having issues loading into the game.
MeteosButthole. Yep.
Oh, remember guys, for this tournament we do have up to 15 minutes of pause time available for each team. If you go beyond that, whatever issues you have, you're going to have to deal with in-game yourself.
15 minutes for each team, right?
Yep, 15 minutes for each team. Unfortunately, we do not have the functionality to create separate pause timers for each team, so we simply have to track them individually there.
Yep.
So, looking at the start here, take a look at our two supports. We got Thresh starting off with Ancient Coin, I believe the first stage of it, versus Morgana Spell Thief's Edge. That's going to give Morgana certainly an advantage when it comes to trading over damage. If she pops her W, the puddle, Black Pool, I believe, she can get the 3 stacks off of it very quickly and get that extra 15 damage. Alternatively, it'll help with pushing down the turret a lot faster to turn this into a team fighting game, which seems to be what blue side wants.
It does seem that way.
Whereas Thresh is looking to sustain in the lane with his biscuits and the coin, rather than going for the Targon's brace, which you'll often see on Thresh, due to the extra damage from his flay, making it a lot easier to last hit those pesky cannon minions.
It also does great since Thresh can't really heal, and then that does add a little bit of health to your ADC. The
Targon's brace, correct.
Yeah.
There's actually an update potentially coming out to the Ancient Coin line of items that increases the passive gold gain, in addition to granting more health whenever a minion dies near you.
Oh, that would come in handy, since supports relatively get almost no gold at all.
Absolutely. It would be a simple increase of 1 gold per minion killed, per minion death. But over the course of a game, if you're there for about 300 minion deaths, that's an extra cloth armor.
Yep. That could be the difference between, say, a Mikhail's or Solari and no Solari.
Yep. And I'm seeing Amumu as reconnecting to the game for a second time. Let's see if he actually manages to load in all the way here.
Did they ban Sejuani in the loading screen? I'm surprised that she's not being played.
So Sejuani was banned out, I believe, by the blue team for their second pick. Give me a moment, I can verify that, though. Yep, Sejuani was banned out as the third ban by Sneeky Dunks.
Sneaky Dunks.
Alright guys, as a quick update while we are still waiting for things to get unpaused here, current vote says 5 of you are behind Sneeky Dunks with 71% of the vote. The remaining 2 are promoting ToxicRaver. That's 29% and 2 votes. Guys, we got more than 7 people in the chat here. Let's get some more votes on that straw poll
Looks
there.
like the game is back running. Mumu.
Indeed it is. Looks like that pause discouraged anyone from going to any invades here. We just have very safe starts, battle lines, defensive wards by the entrances.
Those deep wards, just to make sure they don't get interrupted in the jungle. Seems we're not going to be having any level 1 plays here.
Alright, so we are off to a steady start in the laning phase there. At the very beginning, Lucian already chunking down Morgana to nearly half health, forcing her to pop a potion. Graves managed to trade a little bit of damage back, but not much. At the same time,
going in for that kill. Let's see if he makes it. Nope. Popped that Amumu flash. Forcing him to recall.
Yep, Amumu did manage to at least get his blue buff before that happened, so 2 camps down, is able to go back. However, down a flash, that's going to make Amumu's ganks a little easier to predict there. No awkward angles coming in on the bandage toss. Skirmishes happening in all lanes here, damage trading back and forth between Orianna and Kog'Maw, going slightly in Kog'Maw's favor here. Maokai tossing the damage down onto Volibear, who's already lost about 20% of his total health.
Volibear trying to CS.
But getting forced under turret. Let's see how many of these Volibear can pick up. Otherwise, it looks like Maokai is already going to have a slight CS advantage in the lane.
Volibear already down half.
Yep,
Force
Maokai
them.
just continuing to use those saplings and Arcane Smash to successfully harass Volibear down.
I guess we're not going to see a gank here anytime soon. Or by Amumu. I would have thought that would have been a good time of game.
Thresh landing the hook and Morgana countering with the binding, dropping her pool, and with Graves' buckshot, taking him down to about 60% health there. And Volibear fighting in the middle of minions. His passive gets popped and he has to flash out. Thresh landing another hook, but just catch and release this time. No follow-up. So some of the disparity we might be seeing in top lane could come from the itemization here. Volibear actually started Flask and Potions versus the Doran's Ring coming from Maokai, so it makes a little bit of sense that he's going to be doing more damage. And Morgana landing another binding onto Thresh there. Down to roughly 30% of his total HP. Coming back up from the Potions, but...
Morgana running out of mana there. Might be some time before we see another snare.
Yep, that ability spam will do that to you. Morgana additionally does not have any potions left, so she won't be able to sustain in lane for too long. However, she does get mana from leveling up, so she's about halfway.
And we are in the early stages, so...
Yep. Kog'Maw actually looked to back there. I did not see whether he was forced out of lane by Orianna, but that is most likely the case. She actually got to force the wave in almost into the turret. Kog'Maw got back there in time, though, to get most of the CS. Kog coming back with his tier, as well as boots. Orianna coming back with a Forbidden Idol to help with her early game mana problems there.
Yep. And a double Doran's Ring.
Yep. Volibear fighting in the top lane, but not much damage there. We're used to these wet noodle fights by now.
Yeah.
And, near miss on the binding there. First pink ward of the game is down in the bottom side Death Brush. We'll see if that manages to catch Orianna possibly trying to roam towards bot lane, or Vi trying to make another invade to capitalize on the Blues respawn. And Amumu showing top lane, going in onto Krypent, but he is 3 levels lower than that Maokai there. However, Volibear coming in hard. His passive is up, so he will get some health back. Ults down, no summoner spells burn. All in all, a pretty fruitless gank.
Yep.
At the same time, Amumu only just now hit level 5, whereas Vi just got her level 6, so we can expect to see a quick gank coming from her. And it looks like she's going to try and make that gank come in bot lane. Waiting just outside of the ward's vision there. And here comes Vi. And backing off because red team decided to back out. Must have sensed that Graves was going too aggressive with as little health as he had.
Looks like Vi is gonna be going for that.
Thresh lands a hook on the low health Graves.
From under. We might see, yep, Vi is coming for that gank. She does have that level 6.
And Assault and Battery onto Lucian. First Blood, smiting with the Chill and a follow-up kill for Graves onto Thresh.
Nice.
Kog'Maw got his blue buff, but that's not going to do too much for the bot lane there.
Looks like that will greatly increase, especially with missing all that CS right there. That is just game changing.
Exactly. We are now, because of that, looking at a roughly 2k gold lead. Part of that coming from a minor CS advantage in mid lane, and Maokai's 20 CS advantage over Volibear up top. More than 25 now, in fact.
Wow, that is about a kill. Roughly a kill is about like 15, 16 CS.
Yep, so that actually amounts to this now 30 lead being a 2-kill lead, or the equivalent of it.
Yep, look at that. Looking at that difference in gold.
Yeah.
2,000, 2,200.
Even if we were to discount the first blood gold on Devi, she is 600 gold up on Amumu. Amumu getting heavily out-farmed in this game here.
Yep, because we don't really see. We saw him gank once in top lane. And that wasn't very successful. And
Yep. Following that 2 kills in bot lane, he went to throw out a bandage toss, maybe catch someone under the turret, but that failed as well.
Yep.
Kog'Maw doing his best to spam his ult and try and force Orianna out. However, he is nearly out of mana there. With roughly 1,500 gold in both mid laners' pockets, I expect to see one of them backing soon. Possibly to buy that needlessly large rod. But Orianna just picking up the blue buff of her own. She may not be leaving for a while.
Yeah, that mana, especially on Orianna.
She is so mana hungry. Her abilities
Yeah.
all scale up in their mana costs. And good prediction
Wow,
shield by
that was
the
great.
Morgana there. By invading on that Amumu a little bit there, but Volibear comes down to collapse. And Amumu lands the bind. Tossed back by Volibear. Ultimate slows down Vi. And her ultimate is back up. Maokai comes in with the Twisted Advance, managing to get Vi out there between Twisted Advance and Arcane Smash, discouraging the low-health Volibear who had no passive from continuing.
And I do believe we saw a flash by Volibear, was it? Yep.
Yep, we have one flash down from Volibear and one flash down from Maokai. He had to get in there fast to save Vi's left neck.
Nope, Amumu and Volibear flashed. So that's 2 flashes for the price of 1.
Morgana just popped her ulti there, trying to lock Thresh up, whereas Thresh counters with his own ult. Morgana dying to Lucian, running into the box and then taking a piercing light to the face.
I'm not sure that was a very smart play.
No, especially after blowing her black shield, A, on the wrong target, and B, after the hook had already been thrown from Thresh there.
Yeah, indeed.
Graves very quickly throwing some strong damage down onto Lucian. His advantage of a pickaxe to Lucian's boots certainly going to make that buckshot hurt.
Oh yeah. Potentially Lucian is just the notes away. If he does get another buckshot. Yeah, he could end it with just a buckshot and an ultimate right there.
Yep, collateral damage would currently do 417 damage before taking into account armor's mitigation. Morgana clearing out
And
another ward with her
we
second
see an
pink ward of
early
the game.
dragon. Well, not an early dragon. But they are potentially trying to get dragon.
And Maokai teleports into the dragon pit there, immediately rooting down the Thresh. At the same time, Volibear teleported into a less opportune ward. The fight
Our
continues
first
on.
team fight.
Amumu getting caught out and just shredded down by the continuous damage. Maokai actually picking that one up. Vi dropping the smite onto Volibear and Orianna picking up the kill.
That is 4 players down.
That is a 4
And that is
for
a
1 right there.
free
Triple
dragon.
kill onto the Maokai. And indeed, they're going to be taking that dragon with almost no issues at all there. However, Kog'Maw trying to scare them off there. 2 flashes blown. One from Vi trying to land the Q flash combo, and Kog'Maw just flashing over that wall there.
They do take out that pink ward in the river bush.
So Maokai now with the Righteous Glory finished and still another 1,500 gold to spend. Orianna's completed her Morella Nomicon much earlier, and with the gold from the fight picked up, it appears to be her boots and that blasting wand.
That CS difference in top lane, 44 CS? Yep, that is 44 CS ahead.
Yep. That on top of the 3 kills and 1 assist puts Maokai a total of 1.7k ahead of Volibear there.
Very significant.
Is Maokai possibly going for the... Oh, wait, we got Vi, who snuck into the top lane bush there. Misses the Q despite Volibear being rooted. However, the Maokai ult comes down in addition to the Vi.
2 ults down, and that is a secure kill.
See if Amumu can defend this turret here. He is only at half health though. And they're just going for the dive. Amumu manages to land his bandage toss though. Pops his ultimate, but died to the smite.
A smite, dubstep smite. Just walking away from that. 2 kills and maybe a tower.
Almost certainly a tower. We are at the 16-minute mark of the game, and blue team has already opened up nearly a 6k gold lead. 1 turret, 7 kills, and 1 dragon. Oh, another interesting fight in the bot lane here. Graves flashing forward after his ultimate to finish off the Thresh there.
It was very nice.
Yep, Lucian just finishing off this wave. Trying to fight Morgana, but he's getting ulted, has to flash out to keep from getting stunned there. If that had been followed up with a binding, Graves could have dashed forward, buckshotted him, and killed him easily.
Yep.
Turret nearly down, but still not quite able to finish it off. Meanwhile, Maokai apparently coming in to try and steal that red buff away. Amumu takes it with an auto attack, not even the smite, and takes out about 60% of Amumu's health bar there, forcing him to retreat back to base. Vi, meanwhile, holding the top lane versus Volibear. No problems with that fight there.
Nope.
Kog'Maw currently with the... Go ahead.
No, keep going. No, you keep going.
Kog'Maw currently with the components for his Luden's Ekko. As soon as he finishes off this wave, he should have enough gold to go back and buy. I believe it is only 650 gold to complete the recipe. So that'll be a fairly significant power spike, especially coupled with the fact that he is now level 11 with his rank 2 ultimate. Ping's going down everywhere from the red team, trying to figure out exactly where the blue team is. They have almost no vision control in the enemy jungle. Meanwhile, there are at least 2 offensive wards from the blue team in the top side of the map there. And it looks like Volibear is about to get jumped by that Maokai there. Bot lane turret goes down to Lucian.
First turret for red team.
Indeed. If I were Amumu, I'd be focusing all my attention on this bot lane, trying to get them ahead since they are the only winning lane for the red team right now. Kog'Maw is currently down 30 CS and a kill to Orianna. Maokai is currently up 50 CS and 3 kills over that Volibear.
Yep, that top lane seems like a lost cause about this point.
And Orianna with a 2-man ult, taking Lucian down to nearly 20 HP, and Vi coming in with a Vault Breaker. Thresh's Lantern saving him last second. However, Morgana with the ultimate and an auto attack finishing Lucian off. Maokai just diving right in there. And Volibear teleporting in, trying to make a difference in this fight. However, getting rooted in by the Morgana, so he cannot chase in onto the weak Maokai. Maokai dashes back in to root up the enemy team, while Volibear is taking all the damage from Graves. Amumu now trapped 4 versus 1. And Graves manages to pick up that kill after Maokai so gracefully roots the Amumu there. Looks like Graves is not going to finish off that turret just yet. However, Vi going into steal to deny the Kog'Maw his blue buff. For an AP Kog'Maw, that is certainly a very important thing. Dragon coming up.
And it goes to Orianna. Taking out that pink ward.
Double the devastation there, and Dragon is now up. Blue team in perfect position to take it here. It's kind of amazing. Red team had perfect physical control here less than 2 minutes ago, and blue team's already cleared absolutely everything out.
Yep.
Kog'Maw has in fact completed his Luden's Echo, so those ultimate shots will hit. However, without the blue buff, that is going to be chewing through mana.
That's an interesting build for Morgana, a Giant's belt.
Indeed, a lot of the time you'll see support Morgana's rush for a Zhonya's Hourglass.
Yeah, Zhonya's.
Just so they can charge right in, pop their ultimate, and hopefully not die, enabling it to go off and CC the enemy team. Graves and Lucian trading down there, and Lucian certainly getting the worst of that. However, Graves out of mana and choosing not to continue the fight. Kog'Maw trying to get his ultimates down onto Orianna, but Orianna's ultimate coming in to counter. Was that
nice? That Graves
really
ult to that Lucian.
Yeah, his health was pretty low.
Yep.
By smiting the Thresh popping Talisman Ascension to run away, Kog'Maw's Void Ooze helping him get out of there with his life.
Volibear coming in.
Yep. Kog'Maw trying to take that Raptor for himself. And Volibear left behind as 5 Vault Breakers away.
Yep. They could have probably got a kill on Vi right there.
Potentially, if they had been just a bit quicker in reacting. Vi taking her own team's blue buff for herself. And
since Orianna does have the enemy team's blue buff.
Yep. And Maokai immediately fighting Volibear as soon as he sees him. Amumu getting caught out by the Morgana. Maokai
by the Maokai.
Off. Dies to the smite. I gotta say, LP Ekko is making some impressive plays with those smites there, securing 2 kills and setting up multiple others. Killing off Volibear and top as well. And this turret, not quite gonna go down, assuming Kog'Maw can get the damage he needs in on here. Those shots, even behind as he is, are definitely...
That is significant damage. That just shredded him.
Yep, Thresh and Lucian coming in. Lucian not quite getting to land the rest of the culling since Maokai dodges it with Twisted Advance. Vi following up with the Assault and Battery there, killing Lucian. However, Kog'Maw managing to take off Maokai. Morgana kills off Thresh, and then
that is
from
3
Orianna.
kills.
At the same time, Graves just split pushing the bottom wave. Oh, Maokai teleported in behind to try and make a play there. He's charging in, but he's been seen by a pink ward. Orianna responding to that by waiting in the wings. Comes in with her dash, and 3 hits right off the bat to proc the denting blows. Very quickly taking down that Volibear.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Graves continuing to split push has the bottom inhibitor turret down to 740 HP. Still farming, not quite the safest move considering Thresh has Talisman and Lucian is right there, but they just want to get the farm. I'd say blue team is really in complete control here. We are coming up on the 25-minute mark, and they currently have a 14k gold lead, up 3 turrets and 2 dragons. They also have incredible vision control with
Those deep pink
5
wards
wards now. Yep, 3 pink wards, 2 on the enemy side of the map, as well as 3 additional wards in the enemy jungle there.
Yeah.
Maokai fearlessly roaming in, threatening the Lucian. He wanted to take those raptors for himself, but Lucian was already there. Mid lane turret under assault now. Kog'Maw using his ultimate and Luden's Ekko to force them off. However, that turret is currently sitting on half HP. Brave's just continuing to split push that bot wave. Leaving the minions on their own. Volibear's going to clean that up, no problem. Blue team focusing their vision control on the bottom side of the jungle now, possibly setting up for that 3rd dragon coming up in 1 minute and 15 seconds here. Meanwhile, they're just ignoring Baron.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of early Barons, although it would be a very good idea right here since the enemy team is far behind and they can't really do much about it.
Exactly. If they could set Maokai just split pushing down in the bot lane, use his teleport as an advantage as soon as someone tries to come and deal with him. Or if the enemy tries to 5-man counter the Baron, Maokai can just teleport in and equalize the fight. So much damage coming out of that Kog'Maw there. Just his E taking out most of, going through Morgana's black shield and taking out about 30% of her health there. Binding over the wall, hits Thresh, and immediate follow-up pops him. Krypent taking up almost the full damage of the culling there. However, with his ultimate, that's no problem. By going in hard to try and take out Amumu, but no luck there. The follow-up ultimate from the Orianna pulling in 2 with Dissonance taking the kills there.
That was a great
And
team
Grave-
fight for the blue side.
Yep, and Graves just continuing to force in bottom lane. He now has that inhibitor. Dragon is now live, and it looks like blue team is going to take that before they think about closing out this game. Whether or not they decide to go for Baron next, up in the air, but probably a good decision coming from them. Maokai blowing his teleport to top lane just to keep his turret alive. Easily shredding through his minions there. His frozen gauntlet dealing extra AoE damage. We currently have 4 pink wards up for the blue team, 3 in the blue side jungle and 1 defensively. They are going to see either where the enemies are or where the enemies aren't, and with that much extra information they'll be able to set up any place that they need to. Orianna's got her blue buff and is now heading over to Baron or possibly for this top lane fight. Lucian currently sitting at half health and the turret sitting at about a quarter. Taking that scuttler might be set up for the Baron. That way they can quickly escape or engage on the enemy team as necessary. Maokai trying to chase down that Thresh, but backing off. An unlucky ward just outside the brush there. Or actually no, it just made it in.
Yep, just barely.
Volibear currently trying to deal with that wave of super minions pouring into the bottom. 2 supers in that wave, so extra resistance is stacking between the 2. Top lane turret going down almost uncontested there. And it looks like blue team is pulling back for the Baron. They have total vision control over the red team's red side jungle.
They are pinging for Baron, so we might see a possible Baron coming up here.
Yep, and they have started it up. Red team is trying to come and contest, maybe get that miracle steal. They do have a ward in the back of the Baron pit. Kog'Maw ready to throw out his ultimate there. Lucian throwing in the culling, however, Kog'Maw steals it! In with his auto attack, actually, the empowered auto attack, giving him the extra range to hit the Baron from outside the pit, and all the extra percentage health damage from his AP, managing to secure the Baron for the red team. They lost 2 members for it, including Amumu and Lucian on the tail end to the Graves ultimate. However, the Baron may give them just enough power to hold off this assault. However, it is 5-on-3 in this top lane, with super minions pouring in the bot. Thresh getting caught by a binding and immediately followed up on. However, Volibear managing to finally take down Graves. He was 6-0-4 before this, but he is going to pay for that kill with possibly his life. His passive's ticking and managed to get away. Kog'Maw killing off the Maokai there with his ultimate. So much damage. However, we have a wave pushing in on mid lane, taking the turret already down to about 2/3 of its health. All in all, not a horrible defense for the red team, all things considered. They are 17k gold behind at this point in time. So being able to go, what? In the after fight, that was 2-0 there. Everyone got out after the deaths from Baron.
Yep. They are setting up for Dragon, I believe.
Volibear just dropping that pink ward in the Death Russian River. Trying to get a little bit of vision control back. However, Vi is eager to hunt this bear down. Thresh Lantern keeps him safe, though.
Yep.
Kog'Maw's tier actually completed into the Seraph's Embrace now, so he will have that extra shield to help keep it safe. However, his lane opponent is up 60 CS, an extra kill and 5 more assists, resulting in her having a Rabadon's in addition to Luden's Ekko. On top of that, she's already completed her Sork Boots and is looking probably to complete an Abyssal next. Vi going for an absolutely beastly build here. Between Black Cleaver, her innate armor shred, and the warrior enchantment, she is going to be ignoring pretty much any armor the enemy team can build. And Maokai with the Zizirot portal. I saw the Raptor Cloak before, but wasn't certain if he was going to be completing the item yet. Yet another split push threat on this blue team now. Lucian popping the ultimate to try and wave clear. However, Maokai teleports in on the super mini, keeping it alive. Popping Righteous Glory to go in on the enemy team there. Twisted advance onto Thresh. Thresh getting taken dangerously though. Orianna ult whiffing, and Orianna dies due to taking the turret aggro. However, at the same time, you had 2 members of the blue team fighting red. All 5 of the red, while the remaining 3 blue team took down the inhibitor again.
Yep.
Kog'Maw continuing to put down good damage on the enemy team from a distance, but there's only so much that little guy can do. Amumu quickly clearing out the portal, hopefully. He does not have a very advanced build though, so he is only able to do a little bit of damage at a time there.
Yeah, he seems to be very far behind for what is already 30 minutes into the game.
Well, if you take a look at Vi, she is 66 CS up. That is more than double Amumu's CS, in addition to her 7 kills
and 14 assists.
That is a 66 per... no, higher than 66. 77%, I believe? 77% kill participation coming out of Vi there, so definitely making a big impact on this game.
That's the 4th dragon for the blue side. One more and that might just be game.
I mean, with the additional turret pushing power that they get off of Dragon 4, it shouldn't be that hard for them to take the final inhibitor turrets, and from there, it's almost impossible to come back from 3 inhibitors down.
Yep.
Red team has actually managed to stabilize somewhat. The gold lead hasn't really increased much over the past 5 or 10 minutes here. Still staying steady at roughly 16k. However, that may just be because of the fact that less global objectives are around for them to take. Red team very quickly taking down this inhibitor.
That is 2 inhibitors down for the blue side.
Yep, and already a wave of supers pushing on towards that and towards the Nexus turrets. Meanwhile, the mid lane wave was already sitting up on the red side of the map, so blue team can just take that in straight to the base. Lucian popping the culling to buy a little bit of time, but those Easy Rot portal minions are going to be diving straight onto that turret there. And the regular creep wave has arrived. Kog'Maw throwing out his ultimate to try and deal as much damage as possible, but enemy team is just staying nice and safe with the ZZ Rot portal there. The turret will inevitably go down.
Kog just poking them down.
Yep, but the mid lane turret is down to about 20% HP again. And Morgana just getting blown up by Kog'Maw. E into the ultimate. As well as the Q hit there. Shreds her down real fast. That ward buying an extra bit of vision there, so Kog'Maw can get those important hits. And we finally have a super wave coming in on the top lane, as well as 2 super minions that Lucian's fighting off on the bottom. Meanwhile, blue team is just content to take all the jungle away from red team. And it appears that they are backing off to regroup. Spend the last bit of gold, complete items, buy elixirs. Graves just finished off a Bloodthirster while Maokai upgraded his trinket. We actually have 2 pink upgraded versions of the yellow trinket, so that is free vision wards. That might contribute to the fact of why there is 5 on the field right now. And Baron is live. It looks like blue team is going to take that and finish off the game from there.
Orianna getting pinged to go straight to Baron. Oh, and that might be an uncontested Baron since 2 lanes are being pushed by super minions from the blue side to the red.
You can tell that red team wants to get out there, but they have no vision. They can't be certain that they are actually doing Baron. However, when they show up in the lane, they will know that Baron has been taken.
With that 2020, no, yeah, that's a 20k lead. Almost.
We are currently at a 17k lead.
That turret taken down.
Vi ulting onto the Lucian, finishing him off. Maokai tanking up some of the Nexus turrets, but he's tanky enough to that where that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Kog'Maw continuing to drop his ultimate in. However, we have 2 waves of super minions with the Baron buff on them. These turrets are not long for the world, and the 3rd wave comes crashing into the top here. Can they pull off the miracle defense? Kog'Maw only has so much damage. And Krypent just charging in there. Both Nexus turrets are down. Volibear tossing Graves back in. However, Graves just quickly dashes back out, pops his ultimate, and shreds down 2. And that is
game.
Well, good game to both teams, guys. Sneaky Dunks managed to take that in the end with a very controlled victory. ToxicRaver, well done, guys. You held out longer than I certainly could have there.